Hello? 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 Why can't anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? Why can't I hear myself? A second. Hello? Hey guys. Let's turn that off. That's too bright. Okay. Let me see here. There we go. Okay. Let me try and get this going. You're killing me. Okay. Okay, so. Hey, Chris. All right. Hey, someone's here. Yay. Hey, how are you? Hopefully you can hear me all right. It's like when people walk into class early. Yay. This is so weird. Virtual teaching. Oh, good. Yay. Oh, well, uh, I mean, this is like walking into the first day of class and standing at the front of the room, and I'm looking out, and everyone is like a little a little blank icon. But that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna figure this out, man. It's gonna be a weird semester, but it's gonna be a good one. So we're gonna give it a couple minutes for everybody to show up. But Chris, I'm glad you're here. Um, Hopefully you are actually in my intro philosophy class and not just a random person. Uh, but if you're a random person, hey, good for you too, right? Um, Random people need love too. All right. So, um, while we've got each other, Chris, is this your first semester? We can sort of chat. The banter is harder. Olivia, hey, wow, more people. Yay! 6 people are here. Awesome. Oh, this is going great so far. Welcome, everyone. Good. 30 TCC. All right, well, good deal. This is going to be a weird one for you, huh? For me, too. My clock says 11:58, so I'm going to give it a couple more minutes before I really launch into everything. Hello, Melinda. Hello to everybody. Yay! It's working. Something I did is working. What a concept. Who knew? Um, it's not quite like having real class, but it's something. So we'll do what we do. Um, Intro to philosophy, yeah. How'd you wind up doing that? People ask me that. They're like, philosophy? How'd you wind up doing that? I'm always like, I got drafted. No, that. All right. Let's see here. I can't see my. Can't really read my T-shirt. Yeah. It says none of this is okay. So anyway, all right. 11:59. I got one more minute. And then we'll just get started with those of us who are here. And thank you guys for being here. Yay. It's a good thing. All right. So I feel like 7 people. I feel like this part of things is remarkably similar to how it would go if I were actually in person in the classroom. I walk into the room a few minutes early. I chit chat with you guys, and then at the appropriate time, I say, "Well, let's get started." Um, and we lost one. Somebody walk in. I bet it was. I bet it was someone who thought they were here for English. Yeah. Okay. That's all right. Fair enough. All right. Anyway, so hi. I'm Professor Shirts. Shirts like shirts that you wear. Um, and this is Introduction to Philosophy. Um, I'm glad to have you here. For those of you who are watching live, awesome. Thank you for being here. For those of you who aren't watching live, um, also awesome, I guess. We all have lives, and especially in this weird time, uh, we got to do what we got to do. I get it. Believe me, the world is getting very strange. Um, so that is what it is. So yeah, you just do you, and we'll get through this together. So I'm going to go over a couple of basic things, and for those of you who are watching live, feel free to jump in and comment. Um, just like you raise your hand in class. Except for a lot of you probably wouldn't raise your hand in class if my past experience is anything to go by. Um, but here, maybe it's easier, right? I don't know. I don't like Zoom. I just don't. Um, I feel like YouTube is easier. If I'm wrong about that, please tell me in the little comment, the chat thing. Um, so anyway, uh, I don't like Zoom. I don't like it. All right, so I'm going to go over a couple of points about the class and what we're going to do, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what philosophy is and what we're going to be doing here, and then I'm going to sign off. It'll probably take about a little less than the normal time for a class. So anyway, we got another person. Yay. Anyway, yeah, when you show up, if you can, if you can't, that's fine. When you show up, if you can, say hi in the chat, just so I know you're here. Anyway, so okay, first of all, this is Introduction to Philosophy. It is a humanities class, counts for your general humanities credit. I teach it because my PhD is in philosophy. My bachelor's degree is in English. And I am a philosopher primarily. I also teach a few other philosophy and humanities classes. Hopefully, you'll take me for more classes at some point in the future. This is Introduction to Philosophy, which means we're just getting our feet wet with this stuff. But one of the strange things about philosophy is that, unlike with math or, hey, 8 people, rock. Unlike with math or, say, certain kinds of sciences, or even with history, maybe there's no real particular place where you have to start in philosophy. A lot of like I don't know how many of you are in some kind of engineering or scientific discipline, or maybe pre-nursing or something like that. We're back down to 6. I don't know how that happens. But anyway, or maybe pre-nursing or something. But there are in those kind of majors usually a very strict structure. There's a very strict structure to the classes that you take. You start with like anatomy and physiology, and then you move up, and you take biochem, and it's very very rigid and structured in the sense that each one builds on the next one. Well, one thing about philosophy is that, and you can kind of discern this by looking at most colleges, what's required for the philosophy major is like 10 philosophy classes. Where that's it. It's like, take 10 philosophy classes. Which 10? Any 10. Oh, helpful. Thank you. Very useful. I appreciate the guidance. Um, it's a very the field is at the same time both kind of amorphous and yet very fundamental. So, well, don't be a pain in the poot. This is Basil. Basil wanted my attention, and now he's got it, and he doesn't want it. So go away. All right. Um, Philosophy is at the root of everything. You can do philosophy about anything. I have a friend who writes about philosophy of games. Um, I know someone else does the philosophy of cities and urban geography. Uh, I've got friends who do philosophy of religion and philosophy of economics and philosophy of politics. Uh, you can do philosophy about anything, but because you can do philosophy about anything, because philosophy is sort of at the bottom of every other field, there's no one starting place. There's no one right answer for what should a intro to philosophy class cover. Right? That would be crazy uh, if I heard someone say that about biology. Right? Wouldn't that be weird? Like, think about how weird that would be. Um, if I'm like, what intro to biology? It doesn't really matter what you cover, right? And they're like, no, it actually matters. We do a little basic biochemistry, and we do a little bit of basic, you know, classification stuff, taxonomy. We go, there's a very specific set of things you cover in intro to biology. In intro to philosophy, everybody I know teaches it differently. Um, because it doesn't really matter what we cover in terms of subject matter so much as it matters what you learn in terms of how to approach subjects. And that's the first crucial thing about this course. The actual subject matter is a lot less important than learning a certain kind of approach to things. Because there is a philosophy of everything. Uh, and I'll be honest, I got into philosophy because when I was in undergrad, my philosophy professor said to me, do you know what you want to do yet? Do you know what you want to teach? And I said, no, not really. And he said, well, then get a PhD in philosophy because there's philosophy of everything. So you can then figure out what you like. And I'm like, oh, sounds good. Um, anyway, see, a lot of my colleagues, uh, a lot of my fellow teachers at CCC are very thrown off by these video things because they tell a joke or something and they don't know if you're responding. Like, they don't know if you thought it was funny. Um, but the great thing about me is I know I'm hilarious. So it works. I don't have that kind of worry. Anyway, okay. Um, all right. So the thing about philosophy is there's no particular subject matter that we have to cover in intro. And there's no the subject matter itself is a lot less important than learning how to do philosophy. Rather than learning philosophy in terms of memorizing this is the thing, I'm learning this, I'm going to be asking you to learn a way of approaching ideas and concepts and working with them in a very disciplined and detailed fashion. Philosophy is not something you learn. Philosophy is something you learn to do. So that's going to be the key thing here. That's the first key thing, anyway. So this course may be a little weird in terms of your other general ed courses. It may stand out as strange. Um, Now, I don't know if any of you had any philosophy courses at the high school level or if you've taken any other philosophy courses in college. Uh, uh, Raise your hand. I am never going to get tired of that joke. I'm going to make that same stupid joke the whole semester while we do this. That's just me, man. That's just me. All right. You have, hey, Alana. Yay, Alana. Alana's taking it. So you kind of know what you're in for, Alana, at least a little bit, I think. And one of my worries is always that there are in high school there's history classes and math classes and science classes and English classes. And when you get to college, you see history and science and English and math, and you know what to expect. But there's very rarely philosophy classes in high school. And so when people get here, they're sometimes caught unawares or off guards with as to what this class is going to be like. So, uh, if at any point you are struggling with it or trying to figure out, look, no lie, I had someone last semester, semester before last, uh, before the plague, before the time of plague in the olden days, in a world. Sorry, I had to get my movie like preview guy voice. In a world, I think it was funny. Anyway, but no, I had a guy semester before last who came up to me about midway through the class, and he said, "I don't really understand what I'm supposed to be learning." I'm like, "It's cool, man." Like he seemed very worried. Alana, what philosophy class did you have? If you don't mind my asking, because this guy was very. I don't know if he thought I'd be mad at him or what. Uh, but yeah, intro to Phil. Okay, so we're doing intro to Phil again. Is this my intro to Phil? Are we in the wrong thing? Is this business ethics or? Oh, okay, okay. Covered the Greeks. so, well, I'm going to cover more than the Greeks. So there we go. Right. Already, it's going to be different. See, vive la différence. But yeah, I don't know if he thought I'd be mad at him or what. He's like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing in here, man. And I'm like, cool. It's good you came to me. Should have come to me earlier. So that's the first thing I want to emphasize is that it's always fine to ask me questions. It's always fine to talk with your fellow students about what did you get out of this? What do you think we're doing? Right? We're here to talk about ideas and discuss them. So, okay. Now, turning a little bit to the technical or the logistical aspects here, I was going to just a minute on that. Hopefully by now you've logged into the Blackboard and you've seen that there's just a little bit of content up in the stuff about what is philosophy. There's some readings that should keep us going through the first couple of weeks. Um, Obviously, I'm going to be putting more content up over the next few days. Uh, it's been a little bit of a race to get things done. I had a summer class, and then I'm trying to get all my 5 classes done. So not everything that's going to be needed for the whole semester is up yet. You don't need a textbook. All the readings are provided through Blackboard. And generally speaking, I'm just going to have some response papers, like some short response assignments to the readings. And we're going to do some, they're not papers, but they're just sort of short discussion pieces that we'll have. I'll have you guys turn in throughout the semester where we sort of wrestle with some of the ideas. Usually in this class, I show a movie, I show the Truman Show, and then we use that as the basis for a couple of papers. I don't know how I'm going to work that out. I may have to not show it, or I may have to show it differently, arrange a watch party or something. Who knows? For all I know, this class is going to wind up on a Discord channel. Next thing I know, who knows, man. Anyway, so, but we'll figure that out as we're all figuring this out together. I am not a particularly difficult grader because philosophy is something that you learn to do, and because most of you have no experience with it. Unlike all the other things you take in college, especially the first 2 years at a community college, unlike all the other stuff, you are coming here, most of you, with no background in philosophy. So I try to be very patient, and I tend to be very patient uh, with these learning experiences you guys are having. I know that it's weird, and I know that you may take some time getting used to it. So that's okay. My main thing about this class is that as long as you show me, uh, the way I like to say it is, as long as you show me a little hustle on the field, I'm good, right? I mean, effort is rewarded. And I think the other thing that makes me sort of relaxed about this is that philosophers, in a lot of cases, are talking about the same things. And hi, Destiny. Hey, excellent. So if you just came in, you'll be able to watch this later. This will be recorded, and you'll be able to watch it later so that you can see the whole thing from the beginning. I'm glad to have you. But Alana took an intro Go course that covered the Greeks, and they started in the 5th century BCE, in the golden age of Greece. You know, Socrates, um, is who was very famous in the game Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I have been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed lately, though, a lot. Like to deal with the pandemic, I'm like level 50 something, 56 right now. It's anyway, I guess some very cool gear. Um, but anyway, but he is in the game, right? That's like you can go into Assassin's Creed Odyssey and go. I read about him in school. Anyway, where was I? Oh, right, yeah. Uh, 2,500 years ago, uh, Socrates and Plato were wrestling with some of the same questions that philosophy wrestles with now. Uh, and we've made progress on the questions. We've sort of figured out better ways to approach them. But with a lot of philosophy, the point is not necessarily to get an objective answer because there's no objective answer available. The point is the struggle with the question itself. And I'll explain that in a moment. So I guess like I'm a lot more relaxed about the concept of you just sort of jumping in and getting dirty down in the mud and trying to do philosophy, even if you come up with an answer that I don't think is particularly persuasive, because most philosophical questions are still kind of open questions, right? It's not like history class, um, where like if the teacher says, "When did World War II happen?" and you're like, I don't know, the 1600s, and the history teacher's like, "Well, at least you tried." No, there's a right answer and a wrong answer. Um, there's a right answer and a wrong answer, and it doesn't matter if you try if you didn't get if you didn't get the right answer in history class. But in uh, in philosophy, if we're talking about what does it mean to be a good person, if we're talking about what does it mean to be a good person, there are. It's not so much that there are right answers and wrong answers, as there are better answers and worse answers. Does that sound like a nonsense kind of distinction? It sounds like bullshit, right? But okay. Uh, when I say there are better answers and worse answers, what I mean is there are answers that are thoughtful and engaged and take the question seriously and show that you've really tried to work through the problem of being a good person. And then there are answers that are just kind of offhanded, like, yeah, sure, I'm a good person. Whatever. What does it mean to be a good person? I don't know, cool clothes. Pow. And then, there are better answers and worse answers. But as far as right answers and wrong answers, I don't know, man. How would we tell? So in a certain sense, 10 people. This is so cool. We're up to 10 people. Yay! Um, Again, for those of you just joining our program, already in progress, for those of you just joining us, when this ends, it will be available. And now we're back to 9. Was it my impression? I think my voices are funny, and no one will ever convince me otherwise. But those of you just joining us will you'll be able to see the whole thing once it's finished. Where was I? Oh yeah. Um, so I'm able to be kind of relaxed in terms of grading, as long as you show me effort and a level of thought that goes into it. Now, I've had some students come up to me after the end of the class, and they're kind of like playfully angry with me. Um, they'll come up to me and they'll say, when you said this whole thing about no right or wrong answers, I thought I was in the clear. And I'm like, this will be easy. But then you said I actually had to engage with the question thoughtfully and really, really put effort into it. And they're like, that was so much harder than just memorizing. And I'm like, ha ha, Pulaski, I gotcha. Um, and then away it is. So I want you to prepare for that. Um, you're not going to be able to do well in this class by just memorizing who said what. Um, that's not going to get you anywhere. And I've had some people try to approach it like that. Like philosophy class was a matter of just memorizing. This person said this, and this person said this, and then I'd be like, all right, but which one do you think is a better answer to the problems we face in our lives? And they sort of stare at me blankly, and then they go, well, this person said this, and this person said, and I'm like, no. Philosophy is about thoughtful engagement. Um, so when you were doing the readings, what I suggest is that you give yourself time to don't try to read something like at the last minute. Uh, give yourself time to read over it once, sort of quickly, to just go through it. Just go through it once at a brisk pace. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. Just get the shape of it in your head, then set it aside for a little while, and then come back to it. Read it again. Maybe make time to read it a third time. Uh, really stop and focus on certain parts of it. If you're having trouble understanding what the person is saying, to untangle the meaning there, to make sure you're really getting the fullness of it. Uh, did any of you have English teachers that taught you like a way of skimming to like look for keywords and important phrases and thesis statements and things like that when you're reading academic stuff? Did any of them teach you that? I know I can't see you raise your hands. I don't know why I'm doing my normal thing, but I'm sure some of you probably had that experience because I've always got one person at least in class. There's a 10th person who keeps showing up and then vanishing. It's very weird. Aliens, right? I'm hilarious. Um, um, oh yeah, the skimming thing. I hate that shit. That is bullshit. That skimming thing is bullshit. Bullshit. Don't do that. If you're reading academic works, if you're reading any nonfiction or fiction for that matter, the writer went to the trouble of putting all those words on the page, you're going to damn well read all of them. I don't know what these English teachers are doing where they can write a bunch of words that don't matter. But philosophers do not write that way. Let me assure you. You will need to know what those words are for the most part. Um, you will need to read every bit of it. So philosophy can take time. It can be demanding on your time, not because you have to memorize and then regurgitate on the test. It can be demanding because you have to really dig in and think and turn it over in your head and consider and make some judgment calls and things like that. And that can be hard. But we're going to work through it together. We're going to try and get through this together. So I'm not a very hard grader. I just want to see you really trying. But I've been doing this a long time, 13 years this year. Woo-hoo. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm pretty good at telling when people are actually trying. So, you know, a lot of people are like, "Oh, philosophy, you can just bullshit that." Not really. Like, we know the difference between bullshit and not bullshit, especially because, like, one of the most famous philosophy papers, and we're going to maybe read it in this class. One of the most famous philosophy papers in the modern world is called "On Bullshit." It's about bullshit. It's literally the philosophy of bullshit. So we know. I'm just gonna keep saying bullshit until you guys get uncomfortable and leave. No, I'm kidding. Um, we know what the real thing is. So you just stick with me this semester. Uh, really sort of give these papers some thought. When we read them, talk about them with people. If you've got friends and loved ones, you will learn how quickly philosophy can alienate them. No, seriously, you will lose friends. No, I'm joking. But yeah, talk about these things with other people. There's a discussion board, or if there isn't, I'll set it up soon. There's a discussion board in the Blackboard site where you can talk to your fellow classmates. Um, I'm going to try and arrange it so that we can get some semblance of the kind of conversation that we would have in class. Uh, the back and forth philosophy depends on a conversation. Um, so we're going to do our best uh, to get through this very weird semester and hopefully you guys will have the chance to engage with these ideas. But that's all I really want to see from you is just some attempt to engage. I'm not expecting you to solve any philosophical problems because most of these problems have been around for thousands of years. Does that mean that we haven't done anything to solve them? People who are used to science are like, how can a problem have been around for thousands of years? Like either you solved it or not. I'm like, that's not exactly how it works. Uh, we go in and we wrestle with the problem and we give our best answer to it. Remember, there may not be right answers and wrong answers, but there are good answers and bad answers, better answers and worse answers. Um, so we'll give our best answer to a problem. And the thing is, maybe that's the best answer we can give at the time. But later on, a few hundred years later, a few thousand years later, as we talk about it more and sort of wrestle with it more, uh, maybe we can give a better answer. So we never really stop engaging with the same problems. Um, I guess one way to think of it is this. When you are a little kid and somebody says, uh, what kind of music do you like? You could probably name some songs that you like. And that's about it. And I guess as far as anything goes, that's a right answer because you do actually like those songs, right? Um, but there's nothing really reflective there. You're a kid. You don't know anything. You haven't thought about it. You just know what you like and what you don't like. Like, oh, I like that song, or right. You only have these sort of basic responses to things. Um, as you get a little older, maybe you have some deeper, more developed opinions and ideas about why you like them. And then as you get older still and you learn more about, I don't know, about music, as you listen to more music, uh, you can give an even more detailed, thoughtful, nuanced answer to the question, what songs do you like? And here's the thing, maybe in some particulars, the answer hasn't changed at all. Maybe from the time you were 12 to the time you were 16 to the time you were 25 to the time you were 30, uh, maybe there's a particular song that you've always liked, but your understanding of why you liked it grows deeper and more detailed and more nuanced as you get older. So you can give a better answer. It's the same answer, but it's a better answer at each point along the way. That's kind of how philosophy works. We have problems that we've been wrestling with for 2,500 years, and maybe, it's not that we haven't solved it, because even framing it as solving the problem is misunderstanding what we're doing. We're gaining a deeper and more nuanced understanding of these problems. So okay. So I'm gonna give you a lot of credit for just getting in and wrestling with it, showing me some thoughtfulness about the problem and the process of philosophy. Um, you're gonna learn more of how to do philosophy rather than what the material is. I'm much more concerned with that. And philosophy is a conversation. That's the part that really bugs me the most about this whole pandemic thing, is that philosophy is a conversation, and it's a lot harder to have that conversation in this format. But we're going to try, and I'm going to encourage you to use the message boards to talk to each other and to talk to me about this stuff. Um, because we need to be able to be in a conversation. In a very real way, doing philosophy is participating in a conversation with the whole human race that goes back thousands of years. Because I guarantee you, everybody at some point thinks about the questions like, am I a good person? Or what do I really know? Or what is the point of all of this? Those are philosophical questions. And everybody thinks about them. That's the thing. I'm glad that you're taking this course. And I really want to commend you for taking it, because I feel sorry for people who don't take philosophy, because you don't have a choice. You're stuck doing philosophy whether you like it or not. It's part of being human. I can choose not to read history. I don't. I read a lot of history because I am that nerd. But I could choose not to. I could choose not to do biology. I could leave that to doctors. I could go, doctor, what's this stuff coming out of me? And they're like, it's called blood. I'm like, oh, do I need it? And they're like, yes. Yeah, I could choose to leave that in their hands. I could choose not to learn how to fix a car, or choose not to learn how to cook, or I can choose to not do a lot of different things. But I don't get to choose not to do philosophy. Uh, if I'm human, I'm gonna wake up at 3 a.m. going, what is the point? Right? And holy crap, I'm doing philosophy, right? Is this the right thing to do? Pow! Philosophy. Yeah, you don't have a choice. If you're human, This is a thing you do, philosophy. So I feel like everybody should take philosophy class, intro to philosophy, because you're stuck doing philosophy whether you like it or not in life. And that's that. You just gotta learn how to do it better. Um, so there you go. It's like swimming. Lots of people swim, um, and I just happen to have a lot more practice at it. So I'm going to teach you how to swim better. So that's what we're up to this semester. We're gonna learn how to swim, so to speak. We're gonna swim in the oceans of thought. Oh, that was terrible. I'm never swim in the oceans of thought. It was horrible. Um, anyway, we're gonna do that. Hopefully you'll find some merit in or value in the format of this course. It's going to be weird, but I'm going to do my best to help you guys out as much as I can. Never be afraid to ask me questions. When I'm doing a live stream, you can jump in and come on, come here. Okay, come here. This is Elias. Elias also wanted attention, and now he's got it. Ha ha. Never be afraid to jump in the chat or to use the discussion boards or to isn't he cute? Yeah, or you use the discussion boards or uh, to email me. You can always feel free to do those things and ask me questions because Glossky is about asking questions. I want you to ask questions. And don't worry that you're going to sound dumb or something like that. I mean, good Lord. What's the famous, when people want to make fun of philosophers, they go, yeah, but philosophy class is all about asking, is anything even real? And that sounds like a stupid question, but you know what? We do ask that question, and we're going to talk about it in this class. So, if there's any place for dumb questions, this is it. Come on, man. Or person. Come on, person. Either way. Come on, y'all. Y'all is my favorite inclusive pronoun. I'm from Tennessee, so so anyway, are you coming back? Okay. He's excited. He does want attention after all. All right. Um, so that's what we're going to be doing. I urge you to go ahead and get started on the readings. I'll be putting up more of them to keep you occupied because that's really my whole job is just to keep you occupied. I'll be putting up some more of them. I urge you to give yourself time to do the readings and to do them thoroughly so that you can kind of go over them in your head more than once, perhaps, and to talk to each other and to me about the readings and the ideas therein. Talk to your friends, your loved ones, what have you. So we're all going to try and get through this together. And that's what the class is going to be like, talking about stuff. It's not just your opinion, though. Just don't toss off an opinion. I want justification. And we'll talk more about that in future classes. But for now, I think I've rambled on enough. I'm a long-winded person. I could do this literally all day. I'm an extrovert with no fear of public speaking. So you could stick me in front of a camera and I could talk for hours. I'm not going to do that to you. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. Before I go, does anyone have any questions? Again, because of the format of this, you don't have to wait. You can just jump in and like type something, and I can look over and see it and address it. So that's kind of cool in a way. That's even better than live class stuff. But before I go, does anyone have any questions? Are we going to read Nietzsche? Yeah, we're going to read a little Nietzsche toward the end of the class. We're going to talk a little bit about Camus and Nietzsche and some of those guys when we do existentialism. So good deal, right? It's gonna make you feel so happy. What's the point anyway? What if there isn't one? I like to joke that I'm here to crush your spirit and take away your reason for living. Um, and I consider it a joke because it's funny to me. No, I never said I was a good person. I said I thought about what it takes to be a good person. um, okay. Good question, Alana. Thank you. Anyone else? Any other questions? No? Okay, cool. You can always feel free to email me if you need to, and then I will try to address it. Uh, I'll try to set up a discussion forum since we don't have face to face meetings the same way. I'll set up a discussion forum. Um, we're all learning how to learn in this new environment. We're figuring this out as we go. So cut me some slack. I'll cut you some slack, and we'll get this done. Get her done. No, I shouldn't have said that. That was a terrible idea. All right. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank you for coming to my live stream. Thank you. I'm so happy. I hope that this was informative and it helped you sort of get a sense of what we're doing and how we're going to do it. I'm still figuring that out myself to a certain degree. So, yeah, imagine what I'm like in person. Yeah, Destiny is enjoying this. Yeah, this is it's a unique experience. People tell me. So okay, but yeah, we're gonna get through this together, and so you guys take care, be well. Please remember, I am not one of those professors that thinks that my class is the most important thing in your life. Uh, talk about bullshit. That's some bullshit. I understand you have jobs, you have kids. A lot of you have classes that you need for your majors. Um, I get it. Uh, I want you to do what you need to do. Just be straight with me about things. If you, I've had people come up to me and try to spin me all these stories, and I'm like, dude, you don't need to do that. Like, I don't need an excuse about something. And I've had people come up to me and go, you know what? I've got this anatomy and physiology class. It's really hard. I'm putting most of my energy toward that. And I'm like, cool. That's fine, man. Just be straight with me about things, and I'm totally cool. Do what you have to do. If you have some kind of problem and you feel like you're not going to be able to participate fully in the class, uh, email me. Let me know. We can work something out. I had a student who experienced kidney failure in the middle of a semester, and she had to go into intensive care for 6 weeks. Um, but she kept me apprised of that. She told me, "Hey, I'm in the hospital, so just to let you know, I might die, and even if I don't, I'm sure as shit not going to be thinking about your class." Cool. I gave her an incomplete. She was able to complete the classwork at a later date and still get a grade in the class. So just kind of communicate with me and we'll see what we can do. But I understand it's a tough time. You got a lot on your plates. We're just going to try and use the time that we have together to wrestle with some of the big ideas and the fundamental ideas about the human experience. So, okay. Well, it's been fun. Love you all. Take care. From the bottom of my heart, sincerely. I hope you're all doing well. I'm not doing great. I mean, look at me. No, I always look like this. My beard's a little, I don't know. I trimmed my beard to feel human, to feel something. I don't know, man. The one good thing about teaching from home is that I can smoke while I'm teaching. So there's that. Anyway, uh, have a good day. Be well. Um, I'll schedule another live stream. I don't know when, probably next week sometime. And I'll get some feedback from you guys about what time and day works for you. All right. Thank you all for being here. And I guess I just click the button and suddenly the experience is over. Bye.